So now we're moving on to the second part of tonight. Thank you for to all the panelists, and thank you to Adib for hosting that. So as you can see, we have 3 judges here today with us. For the judges in the room, you should have received a Google form link to fill out. If you haven't, yeah, let's have a chat. Okay. So while we do that, we can have Colton have a chat with you or Adib to fix that. One thing, yeah, I'm one of the co-founders. I'll try to pronounce your company's name in the best way possible. Excuse me if I don't. One sentence about myself, maybe a couple. So the reason, what I wanted to tell you about is why global founders are important. What we do is something unique. So we go to space. We use microgravity to develop new drugs faster and cheaper. So something important, definitely, but something very difficult as well. We do that because we have 4 co-founders, and one of them I have Italian origin. The other one are kind of mixed, but it's Malaysia, South Africa, Ireland, and Poland. Quite global team.
I'm Evan. I live in San Francisco. I started a fund a couple of years ago. It's called Talok Capital. It's sort of an ode to the Aztec demigod of water. And you know, whether you plan on living on Mars or the moon or Earth, you need water to live. And we definitely need founders and creativity and ingenuity to live and to address all the challenges that we're facing in the world. So that's why we named it Talok Capital. We're raising our second fund now. It's a small fund. It's $20 million to invest in applied AI, so consumer and enterprise software, not like energy, compute, or much infrastructure, but I do have friends that do that, so if you're welcome to reach out and I can put you in touch with people. And yeah, our whole thing is about creativity, consciousness, and culture. So I'm non-technical. I'm a lawyer, a startup lawyer by trade. And before that, I wanted to make movies and write poetry, but that wasn't financially viable. So now I try to just be like poetic on Twitter, X, and such. So yeah, that's me. And I respond and read to every message. So LinkedIn is probably the best place, and then we can chat there. All right, thanks.
Hi, hello everyone. Actually, I'm Pasquale, born and raised in Italy, most precisely southern Italy. So, hope that everybody has been at least once. For those who haven't been, I really recommend you to go. Maybe in July, not in August. It's gonna be kind of hot. So, by the way, now I have a skin in the game because I'm actively supporting a B2B startup that I invested and we invested. But my story is a little bit chaotic, so I want to save you all the story. But essentially, I was in financial sector, and I used to live across Europe. I left Italy many years ago. But I want to have, say, great connection and keep my connection with my country, of course. There was a massive gap in Italy, the early stage and the venture in early stage. This is why we co-funded Eden Venture. It's backed by Italian business angel community. What happened later? Many Italian founders sometimes went to Stanford University, Princeton University, whatever, and we realized that we are indirectly expanding abroad. This is why we created some tie, mostly with the East Coast, where I'm also scout for a couple of funds, but now we are trying also to, say, came here to the West Coast. So for maybe European funders, you might want to talk to me for the European part, but everybody that has some tie or is based West or East Coast, happy to talk. Thank you.
I think I'm good. Hi, everyone. How do you feel? Do you still have some energy? Make some noise. Hi. My name is Ulvi Rashid. Yeah. So the screen is not working, but if you so it's here. It says Ulvi. So Let's get to know each other. How many founders in the room? Can you just raise your hands? Any investors? Okay, those people have money. Good. So remember all of them. There are just 4 of them in the room. 5. So, cool. So briefly about myself. I'm originally from Azerbaijan. I'm based in San Francisco for the last 10 years. I run a Traction Group, which consists of 2 organizations. One is called Traction Club, which is club of corporate executives, mostly C-level executives, chief information officers, CFOs of law firms, banks, insurance companies, tech companies. Those are the people buying technology. And we also have a venture capital syndicate of some of those people and some family offices which co-invest in selected companies that we believe are going either to make us rich or wealthy, or both. So, and that's pretty much what impacts the thesis, right? The companies which can make you rich are the companies like Anthropics, Andurils, and so on. Those are the companies which still have some room to growth, but the growth will happen in the next 2-3 years. The companies which can make you wealthy are the companies, hopefully some of them in this room, like category defining your 25K checks in Uber, right? When they just started. And that's what we invest in. So we invest on both ends of the spectrum. Somewhere in between, like 25, 50, 100 million valuation is like tricky one for us. So we either invest very early or we invest when the company is like 70 billion valuation, right? So, and still has like 5-10x room to growth in the next 2 years. Along with that, I'm also on the investment committee of the fund called Sabah Fund, which is the largest fund in Azerbaijan. And every week we see 4 startups from GCC countries, Eastern Europe, and Central Eurasia. We invest usually 250K, 500,000 checks in such companies. And yeah, this is briefly about what we do. And happy to answer any questions after the pitch night. The best way to find me is on LinkedIn. I'm not as good as him answering and responding every single message on LinkedIn, but I'll try my best. So good luck to everyone who is pitching today. You may see some tough love and some tough questions from judges, but hopefully if I have only one and only advice for pitching, right, it would be layered. One would be have a great chocolate, and second, have a great wrapper around the chocolate. So pitches are the way for you to perfect your wrappers, right? Go to as many pitch nights as possible, and in any ambiguous situation, just pitch your company, right? So when you don't know, when you meet a person in the elevator, it can be your next investor, next employee, next advisor. Just if you have nothing to say and it's very awkward, silence, pause, and minute, just practice it. Good luck to everyone.
The cloud market is huge. $230 billion, that's not a valuation number. That is the sum of revenues from just 3 companies, the top 3 cloud companies. And that was their revenue from 2024. That market started when 10-year-old, let me see, and go take this back a little bit. Huh, interesting. Okay, well, it's not performing as I thought it would, but the slide you would have seen there is a picture of me 10 years ago, 2016. The cloud market started when 10 years younger version of me was hired to NVIDIA. I was the very first product manager for cloud at NVIDIA, and we put things in place to make this $230 billion market happen. What most of you in the room don't know is that 30 to 40% of companies and data around the world is not being served by that centralized cloud system. And so that's why I chose to do the crazy thing and leave my NVIDIA shares on the table and go try to capture that market. That market looks like, yeah, it skipped a couple of slides, but that market looks like companies that don't want to put their data on a centralized cloud. They look like banks, governments that simply can't send out their defense or finance or healthcare data out of their countries, or underserved markets in the US, like the historical black universities, the HBCUs. Those markets are not getting served. And the rest of the global south, to be very honest. And so we decided to start where this pain was toughest, in Africa. It's also my home, so I know it very well. So in Africa, you have over 700 banks that can earn us $30,000 a month in GPU rentals. That's a very serious business. And then think about that across more than 15 different sectors that we can get into. So our goal is to gain a top 3 GPU coverage across the African continent and to expand back to the United States when niche sectors in America realize that they need the same private GPU cloud. Most businesses here are starting to feel that pain. They know they don't want all their data going to ChatGPT. They're going to want private clouds very soon, I promise you. So what we are offering, the slide is not showing that, is we help businesses set up private GPU clouds very quickly. We have an OS, operating system software, for connecting those together, so you have a distributed cloud platform when you need it. What that looks like in reality is 20 GPUs in every African countries. We've started with 7 countries already, and we grow that with the demand, so we're not just spraying and praying. So the countries are Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Zambia, Malawi, Togo. And I left this slide in on purpose because it doesn't know where Nigeria is. It thinks Nigeria is up there. That's not Nigeria. That slide is created by AI that doesn't have African data and African GPUs. So I left that in there to show you this is what the world's going to look like if Udu Technology doesn't exist. We have to exist to change this. And there was a slide before this one. It was going to show you the World Bank, the Africa Union, Smart Africa, UNDP, and several other logos. What the leaders of those companies have in common is they are salespeople for Udu Technologies. They believe Udu Technology is a framework for sovereign AI across the world. I guess that's 30 seconds that did, yeah. So they help drive our product across the continent. First year, we did $620,000 of revenues last year. This year, we're projected to do $2.2 million. And we'll have our first American business. What our American businesses look like are Morehouse just got $5 million grant from NSF for their first supercomputer. There is a music studio in Vegas that wants to use our stuff. And there's a developer of the BART train station that wants to have a private GPU cluster to it that's going to support hospitals in Oakland. And so last point is, if you're curious on how much of a $200 billion of an underserved market we can win, I say join our round and let's find out together. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, thank you for the great pitch. I'm just trying to understand, are you trying to enter the US market with, are you trying to enter the US market now this year?
Eventually we will, when the companies here want private GPU clouds. We thought that will happen in 1 or 2 years, but they're already asking us for it.
Okay, so to my understanding, what you are building, it's a decentralized network of private or semi-private clouds for African countries.
Yes.
Okay, so and main business is there, and it's all the revenue is coming from that business, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. What is the, when you are looking at the product itself, at the offering, I assume you have some sort of data center where you are renting the premises, and you bought some GPUs.
Yeah.
You own GPUs, or you rent from the data center?
We have a mixed structure where we own some GPUs, and other GPUs we empower the enterprise to buy the GPUs. We help them source it, install it. It's like a managed service. AWS would call it Bedrock, but it's extremely expensive if you try to pay for that. Okay. We are building something that's very affordable, and if it's affordable for someone in Africa, you can imagine how we'll compete with companies in America. We'll knock them out the park.
Okay, so on your 620,000, right? How much money have you spent already on having that coverage in Africa?
We're profitable. Not a ton, yes.
I mean,
Because we're profitable because we get a percentage of the capex for the GPUs. It's between 15 and 20%. So if we're deploying something for a bank that costs $1 million, 150 grand is ours.
Okay, so the bank buys something, you deploy it for the bank, then you keep managing the same GPUs or not?
Yes, there's a 3-year license to keep managing the GPU. It's similar to what you pay for AWS. It's just it's a lot more expensive.
Okay, what happens in 3 years after?
After 3 years, well, if we do a great job, they're going to stay with us.
Okay, how much they pay you?
For the software, we negotiate that. I wouldn't mention the number here.
Why not?
Because we negotiate the price. It's different.
Okay, so with like 620,000, it comes from the mixture of your commission and managed services, right?
Yes, and in the first year, you can imagine we're just deploying new infrastructure. Majority of that revenues, about 70%, is coming from deploying the infrastructure. But over time, the cloud is going to be a lot more, the licenses are going to be a lot more of where the revenues come from.
Okay, so out of 620, if I do the math right, 450 comes from deployment, the rest comes 170 from the recurring.
Yes.
Recurring credit, right?
Yes, yes, exactly that. Investors are extremely excited about recurring revenues. We don't have a lot of recurring revenues, but the world is changing, and you're going to find out very soon.
You also said that it's decentralized in terms that, for instance, if I'm in Nairobi and I want to get access to GPU in, say, Lagos, do I need to have, can I call any of the GPUs in the bank in Lagos? And do you have like some shared services as well?
Yes, you can log in even from here and access it. It's Africa GPU Hub. If you type in aghcloud.ai on your phone, you can rent a GPU right now. You wouldn't do that if you were working in a sensitive industry. You would only want to rent GPUs from that country. But if you don't care, you can rent it from anywhere.
And how do you ensure that you have enough capacity?
We work with some players. We worked with some companies in Europe that open up their capacity as well. So when they have unused GPUs and we need to burst, we burst with them.
Okay, and what are the gross margins? Probably my last question.
When we burst like that, it's somewhere between 20-30%.
Got it. How much are you raising? What's the valuation?
Just $2 million, because we're not buying all the GPUs. If we're buying GPUs, we're raising $10 or $15 million. We're doing $2 million at a $15 million valuation. Okay,
and where this $2 million will take you?
It can get us past $10 million of revenues.
When?
We're projecting between 3 and 4 years.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Questions on my end?
Awesome presentation. I don't, can people hear me? It's fine? Okay. Thank you. That was really fun to watch because that's not how I mean, I don't have much to add. That was really great banter. I think one thing that I would be interesting to know, and I would probably put in the deck is, the first slide is, well, I think the first slide is not, I think the first slide should be the slide where the map is wrong, because that's really the emotional appeal, and the problem here is, for me, is it really illustrates the issue, and you can build from that. And I think many investors are, all humans are emotional, and investors think about money a lot, but I would, you're not taking advantage of emotion, you're just demonstrating what the problem is, and you can talk about the money later. So I would use that slide first. And then the slide that you have now is, as the first slide, is like, you mentioned that the top 4 cloud companies have $230 billion in revenues. But what I want to know is what percentage of the market do they own? Because moving into the U.S., there's a lot of monopolistic behavior here, and so it's just that question.
Yeah, they own 60% of the market globally, and but the companies that don't want to use them don't want to use them.
What about in the U.S.?
In the U.S., they don't want to use them. I'll have to check on the US market. But the global market, 60%. In the US, it's oil and gas out in the fields without internet. It's military defense. It's healthcare. When you need super high latency, you want your edge device in your hospital. There's a lot here. Music studios don't like it. They don't want to put their IP on AWS. They want something private.
My skepticism is just around their dominance of like the entrance into the U.S. market. I think you'll probably do great in Africa, but you know, as they were speaking about earlier in the earlier panel, like if I was going to invest, which I wouldn't without my fund just because of the thesis, but it's compelling. If it fit my thesis, I'm thinking about, does this really work in the U.S.? And I'm not convinced yet.
I'd love to meet your friends who invest in infrastructure, for sure. And there's a reason why the HBCUs are talking to us to build this supercomputer for them.
Okay, so my skepticism is, does this, the question I would want answered is, convince me that it's going to work in the US. I think there's an idea. I don't think it's convincing. And in order to, for me, it's not a financial question. I think it's this, there's a different angle that you can really lean into, which is like sovereignty, marketing, like we're the good guys, and yeah.
It's just sovereignty. Yeah, the big cloud providers don't sell sovereignty. They want you to come to their centralized cloud. But a lot of these other kinds of businesses, banks, telcos, they want their own thing. So AWS is probably going to try it. They already have Bedrock. They just don't push it enough. And all of them have a version of this. But it's a lot more expensive than what we do. So if you're thinking about quality plus price, you possibly want to talk with us. And
I think they're going to, I don't think they're going to compete with you on price. They can afford to. So
do you know who's competed with them? CoreWeave, Lambda. Those are very big companies as well. And we have access to the same kind of money that they do. Remember, I created cloud at NVIDIA.
I guess I think it's a great it's a great start. And what I would do is with the decks, I would like just lean into the narrative more, sovereignty and all that. So that's what I would change. But it's great.
Thank you very much.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me here to speak. I was a last minute addition. I hope I don't let you down. I'm Dean Jones, the CEO of Stirling X, a UK-based sovereign data intelligence company, and we have a connected autonomy stack that sits with that. By my background, I spent 23 years with UK Special Forces operating on the front lines, working with full spectrum data collection with connected autonomy across thousands of kilometers of ground, where we were trying to understand exactly what was taking place in somebody else's backyard in the most austere of environments. During that time, I worked with pretty much every agency across the globe. So whether that be MI5, MI6, GCHQ, American Special Forces and agencies from NSA through to CIA. Super interesting environment to grow up and do your paper around. And 17 years of that was on the front edge, so I spent 3,000 days on the front edge. Now, it was really interesting to me when I came out. So I transitioned via London Business School, Harvard, Oxford University. And I took all of the skill sets from my old world and tried to apply them to the commercial sector. And my first docking point was a £20 billion hedge fund out of Mayfair, and I started to learn about capital cycles. I thought that was super interesting, actually, because that led to the formation of my first company, Udu Technologies, which is an investment firm deploying capital at scale. So we're at 75 million raised so far to date. And we deploy across UK, US, and Europe. And we are now starting to push into wider European plays in the high north as well. Now, the areas in sectors in scope for those companies are cybersecurity, AI, ML, autonomous systems, and UAVs. Now, the interesting thing is that that's a contiguous cycle for any deployed operation operated in the field where you're collecting large bulk data sets and you're translating that into unique insights. So what I found really interesting was when I set up Stirling X as one of our portcos, in the build phase, I went into ideation. I went from being an investor to going deep and being the operator again, taking on the task of starting Stirling X. Now, when you look at critical national infrastructure in our ecosystems, it's really interesting. I spent my entire career protecting our infrastructure on the edge in the hardest of locations. I came back to critical national infrastructure in our own ecosystems and just couldn't quite believe what I was looking at. There's a massive gaping hole in the way that we protect our ecosystems. And when we think about the lives of our families and the children that we're bringing into this world, you kind of look at it and think, how can that possibly be the case? And so Stirling X was set up to maintain and monitor future-proof assets whilst also protecting the infrastructure. And I didn't want to do that via hardware. I wanted to use enterprise software to be able to enable all of the hardware that sat out there. So whether that be drones, ground-based robotics, autonomous maritime vessels. And I also wanted a data fabric that I could stitch together all of the common APIs or licensed products, then I could plug those into that system to be able to then connect my autonomy via my data systems play and be able to deploy autonomy at scale. What was the results? The thesis landed pretty well, actually. So 12.2 million raised at seed, had 30 global investors involved, a 20 billion pound hedge fund, and the team, I'm not going to lie, is literally killer. It's unreal. You know, for Europe, that's global standard, to be quite frank. The data segments and the way that we put the tech together is platform play, control segment, data and analytics. We're able to triage bulk data. I'm capturing anywhere up to 100 terabytes of data on probably a 3-monthly basis, from topographical imagery capture through to different types of sensors that are placed on the ground. And we're triaging that across multi-sectors, 20 customers in our first year, across critical national infra. We're in a land and expand posture at the moment. We've moved to year on year with some of our customers, and we're pushing into AR segment data collection. And I like to call this, so the sector that we currently operate in is data and robotics as a service. So not single play, not pure play IP. I know someone mentioned that earlier today. This is literally integrating multiple IPs into a tech stack secured by design and delivered at scale. Super interesting, as we've come into 2026, we landed 10 contracts dual use. I've got 5 contracts with UK Ministry of Defence. Another 5 contracts came in with commercial play. And I'm now in a situation where I'm working with my old crew, UK Special Forces, and we're deploying connected autonomy at scale over in Ukraine, protecting our democracies, I should say, against aggressors. Happens in 2026. I'm rewriting the milestones, to be quite frank. I've hit 60% of my revenue targets for this year. The team's already scaled up to 44. It's going to go up to 70 before the end of the year. I've got 20 million called off for a Series A already, and I'm in Silicon Valley, New York, and Austin. And I've just got back from A16Z's profile over in Washington. And I expect this round to go to somewhere between 20 and 40 million, potentially more, as we push through. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was really inspiring. And I have a very quick question. Okay, we are in San Francisco. Okay, I know like 3 guys that wanna create and are creating some kind of product like flying car. Somebody else is creating autonomous vehicle, military vehicle too. All these vehicles, they are equipped with multi-sensor and they can collect data. So tomorrow will be a successful flying data or a successful military autonomous vehicle. They will collect data. You will lose all your competitive advantage or not, and if not, why?
That's a really good question. Look, at the moment, the way I see this is like cybersecurity 10 years ago, brownfield. The ecosystems are completely wide open, and generally people don't know how to maintain, monitor future-proof assets, and they definitely don't know how to secure them. So, you know, they may well be able to operate autonomy at scale, but the reality is it's a different skill set. It's a different option to be played out there. Like I'm looking after at the moment, I'm landing and expanding with data as a service across 3 60-kilometer blocks of wind farms. Like they pipe in 80 million pounds worth of electricity on a daily basis. They're mini reactors, and the entire ecosystem is completely blind to the data. So you're thinking about connected autonomy from an asset perspective, I'm thinking about data as a full spectrum collection capability, some from drones, some from robotics, some from connected maritime autonomous systems, but also from passive and active collection capabilities that you place on the ground.
If I can reframe, let me if I reframe correctly. Your unfair advantage is going to be a combination of skills, expertise, and like exclusive data. This is what you're saying. Why this will be sustainable in the future? They can collect data, but maybe they don't have the
super difficult to replicate. Like if you think probably the near peer competitor in Europe would be Helsing, but they only do one segment. We're doing 4 of those segments, and due to our agentic coding, we're able to build out on tool at the pace that we just wasn't expecting. My developers are pushing out 1.5 million lines of code every 6 weeks. We have architects absolutely smashing this out. So where companies have invested huge amounts of money into building their capabilities out, I'm doing it at a fraction of the price and I'm having more impact.
And very quickly, maybe you mentioned it, but I missed it. What's your geographic target? Just you
yeah, so for first year of operations, we did 1.3 million across 20 customers where we were in a land and expand. Like I literally had no resource at that point. And then I came into 2026. I was predicting $4 million US, having received my seed capital. And I did 2.6 million in the first 8 weeks of 26.
Okay. Hello. Oh, hi again. So I'll be quick here. We just invested in Unreal. I'm looking at Saronic, Mach, and Harmattan and everything, right? So probably I was visiting actually Mach Industries labs the other day. They make drones in El Segundo, and they didn't let us take too many pictures, right? Turned out that anything cool doesn't let you take pictures. That's why I'm not surprised you don't have too many pictures on your deck. However, my question will be connected to the probably all your contracts that already happened, right? So you mentioned, so first of all, can you tell again what was the revenue so far for those contracts? Is it booked or delivered? And what exactly was something that people were ready to pay you money for? Not people, like all the agencies were ready to pay you for. And what is the expectation after you close this round? And given all the high level and high stakes conversations you already have, I'm sure you're going to close it.
Yeah,
so.
Sure. Look, I mean, so it's a complex environment when you're operating it with enterprise, which when you've only received like 6 to 12 million. I only actually finished the round in November. You're trying to operate across large enterprise level, and you're delivering back what I'd class as like tactical revenue streams at that point. So you win it, you book it, you close it, you move on. However, that rapidly turned into, with 3 of our customers, year-on-year, 5-year programs. And I was like, okay, this is different, right? So I'm now moving into, they want the data sets 24/7, every single, all the way through the following year and beyond. And data as a service is ultimately, the data is the gold for these guys. So like they have no illumination across their environments. So this is game-changing territory for them. And what's happening is, whilst I'm in there, I'm learning the desire path of the customer. So the customer's telling me things about their pain points, and I'm like, oh my God, right, okay, like that's another revenue stream for me. So wind farm, 5K block, conduct the topographical imagery capture, brilliant. Second block, 45Ks, we've now dislodged a manned asset that was collecting the data before at 1/5 of the price. I triage the data, they say, can we have that as a persistent buy? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they call me up at C-suite level and they say, I've just had a Russian vessel go through my wind farm. There's a guy with an AK-47 on the back, and it's been sat in the wind farm for 45 minutes. Now what do I do? And I was like, I tell you what, why don't we put security across all 3 of your wind farms? We'll do that via data, and we'll do technical collect. And they're like, what does that mean? I was like, don't worry, we'll do that for you end to end. That's how we win.
Probably last question then. Do you expect any wars in Europe for the next 10 years, given that probably Russia and Ukraine is set to end, or at least US thinks that it's going to end soon, and it's unclear what's going on with Iran. And what you think?
Man. Look, I spent 23 years out there. Do I think this is going to end? Absolutely not. Do I think we're staring down the barrel of 20 years of disruption? Categorically, yes. I'm sorry to be, be the bearer of the bad news, but the wars will end, the grey zone activities will start, and it'll get worse and worse, and we'll escalate, and we'll go back to square one where we were before. And with Iran and the current conflict, unfortunately, we've got the issue of who's going to back down from the escalation, and what regional players and other state actors are going to get involved to stir the pot, which we're already experiencing.
Thank you.
Can I ask one just fun question? Sure. Heavy. Archer or James Bond? If you had to pick. I didn't think it would be that tough. I have my answer.
I'm wearing James Bond's watch.
I'm Mo. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Supportfinity. I was doing product management all my life, and I was a hiring manager for around 15 years. And you'll be surprised to know how broken recruitment is. Hiring is broken everywhere, from small startups to very large companies. I was talking yesterday with a very, very large chip design company, and it's so broken there. Years ago, I started Supportfinity, a command line, one place for everything, recruitment and hiring, using a family of AI agents and a database of around 2.4 billion profiles. Revenue so far is 250K ARR, and we hope to cross 1 million this year. It's pretty much cutting the time to hire from an average of 45 days to pretty much around 6 days. Our customers that's not my application. We hire elephants. That's a good one. Yeah, sure. I can continue. Yeah, I can continue. So I was talking about revenue, yes. So 250K, almost a little bit over 250K. We want to cross 1 million of revenue. It's a pure SaaS company doing large enterprises. You start from posting jobs till accept a job offer from one place. It's a command line for all the operations of hiring. We are partners with LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed. So when you post the position on Supportfinity, it will distribute your job boards, and then we have an applicant tracking system, and then a sourcing engine of a database of 2.4 billion profiles. The unique things that we have is we have a salary calculator. We sell the salary calculator as APIs for large companies here in the US. And we have subscriptions, of course, from small startups to large enterprises. And what I wanted to show you is how you can search for people. So I was about to show you, like, hey, find for me people 2 miles or 5 miles from the second street in the city here. And then it will show you the job titles you're looking for, like Amazon web developers, AWS developers, for example, within 5 miles from here.
How do you know the locations?
We have the data. So we have 2.4 billion profiles. And actually, yesterday, there was a company competing with us. They raised 80 million. Maybe you will know it. And our customers say our product is better. We have more data. We have more accurate data, actually. And we have a very unique engine. It's actually the only product that we know that it exists. It's assessments with AI. So you can create assessments from a prompt with AI on any topic. And it's just simple like this. When you post a position on Supportfinity, you get the number of matched candidates. You get an assessment automatically created for you, either technical assessment or personality assessment. And then you get also the engine, the AI, the second AI scouting for talent and doing the automated outreach for you through multi-channels, emails or LinkedIn. And we... Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that I cannot show you how it works.
It's okay. Just
But
describe.
it's just super simple, super sleek, and our customers like it. So that's pretty much everything.
Okay. So
Let me know if you have questions.
yeah, let's just go through the
Sure.
experience, right? So I'm, say, Amazon. I need to hire.
Yeah.
First of all, I need to fire people.
Of course,
Right.
that's true. But
Can
I
you
mean,
help me fire people?
no.
Because I need to know which ones to fire. Can you assess me? Which ones should I keep?
We have an interesting use case actually for a company selling medical devices. So they created assessments about the usage of medical devices to their sales team. So as a way of training. So the assessments engine is not just for hiring. It could be for upskilling or reskilling, or actually in education. But we are not selling anything to education or edtech yet. But it's something that is very promising to be sold for schools, universities.
Clear. Psychological profiling that you said.
Yeah. Personality.
Personality
You can do
profiling,
that too.
right? Can you, do you have a way to collect this data about random people, or this person should go through that
No,
test?
the way, no, of course, we don't have this data. So this is part of the hiring process. So if anybody applies to a job, you need to make sure that they know what they are claiming that they know.
Right.
So, and of course, you need to do like 360 personality assessments or something. So the way
How do you do that?
yeah, I will tell you. The way we do it is that when you post a position, AI will take the job and then create assessments, one or two assessments, one personality, one technical for you, so that you can use it across your hiring process. And then we have already a marketplace of assessments. If you went to supportfinity.com/assessments, you will see the marketplace.
How long does it take for people to go through assessment? Actually, to go to
every assessment has a period. So there are some assessments 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you like.
Can you make, instead of assessments, can you AI call me and talk to me?
No, well, this is not, I mean, we don't believe in that. So it's not how enterprises would like to see. And we, in my vision or our vision, me and my co-founder, he couldn't come because he has to stay with his kid. But the vision is to do something that works. So we see a lot of companies talking about AI recruiters. There is nothing called AI recruiter. I don't want AI to call me about a job. It doesn't make sense much to companies and to candidates as well. Or maybe we are not there yet, right?
Yeah.
So we don't mind doing it if it's in the right time. But what we do is that we solve the core process of recruitment, like assessments, sourcing, which are the most two stages that consume time. So we automate this specifically, these two parts. So it's a journey. And my problem when I worked for HP, OpenText, and other companies. We used to use Workday, right? It's very popular, of course. And it's very broken using Workday. And any company using Workday, and not only Workday, Oracle, Taleo, SuccessFactors, iCIMS, by the way, iCIMS is going to be our partners. But anyway, I mean, the regular applicant tracking systems, the way hiring works, is extremely slow, extremely broken. I was talking with one of my friends. He's a director of R&D at a similar to NVIDIA company. And he's been parking his hire for 9 months because he cannot find anybody. Right. And sourcing is extremely difficult for places like in the Midwest, for construction, healthcare, many other places, not just tech. Tech is easy if you are here in the Bay Area hiring a developer. This could be easy, but there are tons of roles that are unfilled because there is no access to data of people.
How do you make money?
It's a subscription, and we have the online prices, Supportfinity /pricing, and then we have the contracts for enterprises, so we sign enterprise contracts. And we also sell APIs. So we sell salary calculator APIs for, it's still in progress, for a company doing I-9 verification. They become our partner now.
So for instance, if a person's salary is 200,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
How much of that 200, usually those companies would pay 30 to 40K, or they have loaded cost of that much. How much of that budget of 30, 40K does your company make?
We are not recruitment agencies. We are software, we are SaaS. So we are not, we don't do recruitment for companies. So companies use our technologies and recruitment agencies use our technology. So,
But like, is it,
Sure.
Can you get piece of that 30, 40K pie or?
No,
there
we
is
don't
no
care
way?
about the offer details. We have subscriptions, so the plans start from super enterprise, $59 for one solo recruiter, for example, and then we have the enterprise contract starts from 55K up to 250 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Very quickly, you mentioned several times assessment, okay?
Yes.
It's kind of self-adaptive assessment or just a classic assessment?
What do you mean by self-adaptive or classic?
Like all most recent exam, that the progression is based on the answer that the candidate is
No.
giving you.
No, we're not there yet, but
Okay.
that's a great idea. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's okay. Cool. But that's not my screen, so I cannot demonstrate. But yeah, pretty much it's assessment that is made ahead, and actually this is very important because the assessment should be made before the process starts to be fair, so that everyone will have the same assessment across. So I cannot just send different types of assessments to different people. It should be one assessment that I can share with 10 or 20 or whatever number of people I have.
Why
in my
a standard
pipeline.
assessment should be better? Maybe it's biased. Some people can do something that other can't as a candidate. You can land to completely biased result, okay? That's a provocative question, okay?
Well, no. It's just a good idea actually, but we haven't thought of it actually, and the way hiring works is it should be like standardized before the process starts. So I'm not sure how the AI will behave. Depends on the answers of the candidates. So I don't think this will give a fair advantage to everyone. Sorry. So it's a standard assessment. You can record video, audio, or just multiple choices, true or false. Depends on the type of the questions. Every section is different, and you can customize this all with a prompt. And that's actually what I was about to show you. Yeah.
I'm gonna phone a friend. She seems like she really wants to ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
I've looked at a few companies that are in this space.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you, so recently, I want to ask you how you compete with them.
Sure. I like this question.
So Jack and Jill,
Yes.
they're in London.
Okay.
They're entering the market here.
Yeah.
I just met them last week.
Jack for job seekers, Jill for companies. Yeah.
How do you compare with
Well, we have a different approach, and I don't know if this approach that they are doing will be good. But let me tell you, companies make money differently. So if you know Mercor and this kind of companies, these are not hiring companies. They are using knowledge of people to train AI, right? And maybe Jack and Jill, this company, could go to this path because they are accumulating data of people. And actually, this is also what we have, because we're not, by the way, serving only companies. We have Supportfinity community. We have 134,000 job seekers, full data that we have. And this is actually one of the sources of the data to companies. So we serve job seekers as well, and we have a small community. Think of it like something like very tiny compared to LinkedIn, but something like LinkedIn. I mean, I don't know about their numbers, but approach could work, but it's not our approach.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ankur. I'm co-founder and CEO of Brysk. Retail is undergoing a very big digital transformation, and the core focus of that is how we can make and merge offline retail to e-commerce, where the shopping experience is very simple. But the whole innovation that is happening around the world is focused on large format enterprise retail, and everybody is leaving out the small format convenience retail out in the market. And before starting Brysk, I used to run a small format retail chain back in India for 4 years. And when I have to close it down due to COVID, one of the key things I identified that none of the solution is focusing on a small format retail. And that is my insight. My first customer, for whom I solved this problem was running these 100 square feet stores, and they were having a high shrinkage of more than 5%, high operating cost because they need 3 to 4 employees to run that store, and poor customer experience. Post deployment of Brysk, we are able to bring down the shrinkage less than 1%, reduce the operating cost by more than 75%, and seamless shopping experience. But that is not the single part. The most important part that we are able to prove the ROI in less than 8 months. And this is what we identified, that this is a problem statement that you find across stores in gyms, hotels, hospitals, transit stations, stadiums, movie theaters, and so more. And for that, we have built a full stack unattended autonomous checkout solution which is purpose-built for small format convenience retail. The shopping experience remains very simple, where a shopper can simply tap in with their debit card, credit card, pick up the items and walk out. Everybody must have seen that Amazon Go experience. I'll answer that question, that how we are different from them and what is our approach. The technology is basically our intelligence engine combines sensor fusion and computer vision and robotics to identify what every product in the market, every customer activity is being tracked, and we are able to produce the bill very seamlessly with less than 1% shrinkage. Our calculation of the North American market is around 1.1 million such stores potentially possible in this market. And we have done our customer discovery across gyms, hotels, hospitals, and offices. Our focus is just identifying these 10,000 locations where we can deploy standard stores, and which itself right away create a $1.2 billion market opportunity for us. Right now, our solution is live across certain locations where we have done initial traction of 50K ARR. And with our initial customers, we are able to sign contracts which will generate revenue of close to $2 million for us in next 2 years. And we have a qualified pipeline of $8.8 million with us that we are executing as we speak. Our GTM is very focused in this. As I highlighted, we have done customer discovery across 4 segments, but one segment actually stand out really well for us, and that is hotels. And the key reason is there's a specific 24/7 need, high labor shortage, and higher referenceability in executing this GTM. Our focus is working out these franchisee operators, which have 3 to 5 hotels at this point of time, set up these stores around, then take this technology to the brands themselves and deploy across that chain, and then keep scaling across other segments. As I said, we are only purpose-built. We provide end-to-end solution. It is very similar buying behavior like a vending machine. Every operator who buys vending machine don't have to think about how the technology will work, where I have to do the inventory management and everything. The same way we provide the whole hardware, software combination together. You just deploy the solution, get your inventory, and revenue is generating from the next day, sorry. It's a simple plug, play, and profit model. Our business model is fairly captive. Customer buys a hardware upfront, bringing them into our ecosystem, and majority of our profitability drives from our subscription revenue around. As a team, we have more than 50 years of experience building retail tech products, technology, and hardware products around, and we know all the 3 founders know each other for more than 20 years combined together. And right now we are raising $1 million round, out of which only close to 200K is left. So anybody who is interested to talk to me, please reach out to me. Thank you.
One question only. Go for it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, tell me more about maybe the vending machine analogy. In what ways? In what ways is this not like vending machines that are that's challenging? Because you use that as an analogy, which I find interesting. It's a great way to make passive income, but I don't really think of vending machine company, the manufacturer, as being super wealthy and a great investment, although it might be. I think it's great because the vending machine model is almost like a franchise model where I go invest in vending machines, right? And me, I build my own little LLC, and I own 20 vending machines, and I make money. So why not pursue like a franchise model? And so, yeah, I'm just wondering if you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, so basically when I'm saying that it's very similar to vending machine is, when I'm selling it to these smaller businesses and small operators, they don't have the capability to get retail management system from somewhere, procurement of hardware from somewhere. What they expect is basically somebody provides them end-to-end solution, and they just focus on running the business. So if I'm targeting a hotel operator, running a hotel like a Best Western in Phoenix, they would expect me to provide end-to-end solution of retail management system, providing analytics and everything.
Contrast with a vending machine is that it's much more capital intensive.
This solution,
Your business, right? Or
yeah, we are able to bring our cost down to that level that our solution will be at par with, let's say you want to sell 300 SKUs, the cost, the number of vending machines that you are going to require, and our cost of solution is going to be cheaper than that, and you will have much better capability to send multiple different types of product and higher revenues from there and seamless customer experience.
I'm trying to understand. Are you selling vending machines or soft for a vending machine?
I'm just giving a comparison to vending machine. When I'm saying I'm providing an end-to-end solution, is basically any operator who wants to set up an autonomous store or retrofit that store with the solution, I provide them end-to-end part of it.
He's doing what, like Amazon Go for, it's like Amazon Go.
Amazon Go but end-to-end.
And that's very expensive. A vending machine is like cheap, and an Amazon Go store is very expensive.
And that's where I'm saying that I'm able to bring that cost down to the cost. Let's say you stack 10 vending machines, that will cost you something like $40,000. The same thing I can provide you in full autonomous storage.
I'm building Sexto. That is not what you're thinking. It's doesn't work. No, but it was just funny, and yeah, and the catering business are struggling with processing orders. Now how it's work? I want to order a catering. I just go in the landing page. I submit a form. After 2, 3, 4 hours, they will come my email to me, and they will do back and forth with the caterer. And yeah, like the margin on the catering business are small, and now like a 50 employee catering have at least 15 people that are just doing emails, just selling for inbound, and that's super inefficient. And okay, and so the solution, the next one, it's building an ERP, like a kind of software that have all the tools that the catering using, and all the data collected in one place, and on top of that have an AI sales agent that's selling for requests that coming inbound. And why now? I mean, now there is the technology to do that, also the vocal one, and the caterers that want to scale are investing more money into the technology. And we'll go a little bit deeply into the product. Here's kind of the ERP where we have the sales side that you have invoicing, quotation, and revenue. After you have the products that you have your own products, the order sheet, and yeah, the ingredients. In the other one, you have the calendars, the deliveries, the side of operation. And on top of that, you have this AI agent that is kind of a chatbot in the landing page. You chat with, and you build your own quotation instead, just back and forth with the caterer. And the business model is subscription. You can just buy a ERP plus the agent, and if you are using it more like a lot, you will pay to use. And it's for every kitchen. It's not just for the business. The market is huge. It's more than 500,000 kitchens in US and Europe together that are doing just catering, so weddings and corporate catering, not restaurants. And what's next? So the competitors are like this one are old software, and this one are software with on top kind of e-commerce, but there is no one that have this agent on the top for doing the consulting part that is super painful. This one is French. Yeah, but it's like kind of ERP with everything, but they don't have like e-commerce, they don't have nothing to order, you know? So they don't have the platform. Yeah, I'm Darijan. I dropped the college when I was 19. I built my first startup in Italy, and it was kind of Tinder for jobs. The name was iWork. I failed. I come to work in Berlin like entrepreneur resident food delivery company, and there I managed the catering side. I launched it. I closed some big clients, and it was super annoying. I was doing back and forth with the email, so it was crazy. And because of that, I'm building that.
Thank you, Sexto. We'll have to wrap it up.
Top. Thank you.
Thank you, Darijan.
You know what's funny? That I even find a rationale for your name, because European food, especially Italian food, is sexy. So maybe that's why.
Sexy
but
food.
beside it, But beside this, what I'm a little bit skeptical is the ERP part, because the catering business, the small business, they are a mess. Some of them still actually take notes manually. How can you deal with it?
This is the restaurants. I mean, if you're going to a wedding company, they are not doing that. They now have several tools, like one for product and another one for invoicing, that are all disconnected. So you can't build a technology, something on the top that, you have these free tools that are all disconnected, and that's not great. And now you're doing back and forth with the emails.
How to connect them?
I mean, there are API integration stuff, but because of that, I'm doing the RPA. Because it doesn't make sense just put the agent and just doing API integration with a lot of providers that are meta-DSA.
Okay.
We continue after.
It's like a boring category to me that people overlook, unless I guess you're Italian or European. But and I would say, yeah, I'm curious. Maybe I'm curious what your content strategy is. I think we have to move on, but I would go really hard on content strategy.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Every year, 10.5 trillion is lost due to cyber attacks. Interestingly, 98% of these attacks are due to social engineering. So since the launch of ChatGPT, the rate of phishing attacks have grown about 4,000%, and also about 3,000% surge in deepfakes. There was a breach with Change Healthcare. They'd lost 2.87 billion due to a ransomware attack. Someone had clicked in his email. Let's go. So the problem we see here is, isn't that employees click at all. The problem is that they even see it. And so what we see here is that there is an infrastructural deficit. And what organizations have right now are like post-delivery. So it means when you've received the attack, they're trying to detect if it is real or not. And we believe that is too late. And so training also doesn't work. So when you train your employees, they still have 92% probability of clicking on a ransomware attack again. Let's go. And so this is what we're building at Trotta. We stay on top of the application layer. We are rewriting this security primitive. And so what we are intercepting is, we intercept those attacks before your employees ever sees them. And we are rewriting the entire infrastructure. Let's go. And so why now? 78% of enterprises are right now adopting AI at an astronomical rate. We would see the largest cyber attacks within this year and next year. We've got over 2 million open source models. Attackers also have access to this. They can use this to deploy. So the marginal cost of deployment of this attack is like 0. So anyone who is very interested in trying to spoof your domain or send you a ransomware can do that. Let's go. So this is how it works. We've got an incoming email, for example. We intercept this layer. This goes through various channels. Primarily, these are ML analysis. The decision is made to block or deliver. We never listen to internal communications. Next slide. And so this is what happens with Trotta and without Trotta. Your employees see them, they're trying to see if it's real or not. With Trotta, they never see these attacks. Your infrastructure remains the same, it never changes. Next slide. And so this is why we will win. We've been simulating cyber attacks for the past 6 months, and we're building our own proprietary LLM. And we've been doing this over and over, simulating and trying to prevent these attacks. And so, let's go. So this is the average contract value, 50K, and compared to the breach cost, 88% return on investment with Trotta. Let's go. And so we've got 4 mid-stage enterprise customers, with 47 of this in the pipeline. We're currently speaking with JP Morgan, American Airlines, and Walmart. 2 weeks ago, we got Costco that got a spoofed domain. Someone has spoofed their domain and has stolen 400K worth of their lobsters. And that could have been more. Let's go. Yes, my team, I'm a black hat hacker. I've got 6 patents. I'm ex-Techstars. My co-founder is Michael. He's an ML engineer. We've won all of this. Let's go. And so this is the last slide. Every breach requires a human mistake, and this is what we're building at Trotta. We make sure they never get the chance to make that mistake. Thank you.
Thank you, Trotta.
Thank you. I'll go first then. We have one. Okay.
Okay.
I have to represent. Okay. Probably. Oh my gosh. One question. Okay. So let's do the following, right? While I was listening to your presentation about everything you do, spoofing and everything, but the point is that up to probably 70 to 80% of the presentation, I was under impression that I have heard that pitch, right?
Okay.
Or at least segue to the pitch.
Okay.
Then probably I found one seed of answer to the question, why you, right? Because right now we have RSA in a couple of weeks, you have to pitch there, right?
Yeah.
And there are probably like at least 100 companies claiming that they do what you learn how to do.
Okay.
So the question is, why you?
Yeah, so we've got Proofpoint, Mimecast, Know Before. Know Before trains your employees on how to identify this. Training is not efficient. Proofpoint and Mimecast, they do post-delivery. So we are the only ones doing pre-delivery. And pre-delivery is structurally proven to be more efficient. So for post-delivery, there's a latency issue. It's also proven that employees. Yeah. Why me? No one does pre. That's what I'm saying. This is what we are building. We are refining the entire architecture. We are writing a new security primitive. And it's a mix of art and science. It's different from whatever anyone is building. Post-delivery doesn't work. And that's why we are rewriting the entire architecture, placing the attack pre-delivery. No one else is doing pre-delivery. And that's how we stand out. And that is way more efficient than whatever is happening. Your employees never have to see these attacks. We block them before they ever happen. That's what we do.
How's everyone doing?
So far.
Thanks for sticking around here. I'm Pianpian, founder and CEO of Amotions AI. At Amotions AI, we're building an emotional intelligence AI agent that can listen in your sales calls, guiding you on what are the right thing to say, how the other person's feeling live when you're talking to the customer. We help you increase your win rate and increase your revenue. The problem we're addressing is there are a lot of salespeople that don't know how to read the room. They might be finding it hard to remember all the product details while answering all the customer questions, but also try to understand how they're feeling. So this is costing company lots of money, millions of dollars of money. The solution that we have is having an AI that can listen in a call live, that can understand emotions, that can give you suggestions on what are the right questions to ask, that can understand the company's specific technical and product questions, and guide you to higher conversion rates. We also have AI that can help you get prepared for a call, help you with role play and practice, as well as multi-call intelligence afterward to help you improve over time. So the AI will get smarter as it knows more about you and your company and your customers. So we help companies increase conversion rate, increase their revenue. Raise your hand if you want it here, and happy to talk. So we currently already have some early customers. We're also talking to mid-sized companies to enter more partnerships and as well as pilots, and we're going to grow also into besides sales to customer success as well as to enterprise customers as well. Myself, before founding Amotions, I was head of product at companies like GoDaddy, Winnie, and I got 3 masters in social science, 2 from Yale. And my CTO has experience leading AI startups at another AI venture-backed AI company. And we have psychologists, top psychologists in the world of emotional intelligence on our team as well. And we also have other sales leaders, sales experts in the team to help people increase their revenue and conversion rates. So we're tapping into a huge market, 30 billion global market in the space of sales. And also, if we're looking at all the customer-facing roles, And sales is not the only part. This is just a starting point. It can also expand to internal communications, communications between doctors and nurses, and many other use cases. So I believe the future is having an AI that can understand you, the people you're interacting with, and then give you suggestions on how you interact better with other people, starting with the revenue team, but expanding to others. We already have some angel investors looking to connect more with angels as well as VC. So happy to chat Pianpian at amotionsinc.com and connect me on LinkedIn as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Emotions.
Yes.
So for context, I think I've invested in a competitor because, yeah, there will be a lot of convergence in the space of like it's a voice AI for business, right, and emotional intelligence maybe for business. And so, why do you think sales is the best place to start? The statement you said about salespeople can't read the room, they should be fired. They're not salespeople then. It seems, it's funny to me, like, I get the need for role play, but how are they, yeah.
So since you didn't invest in a competitor, if it did, I mean, they're not like selling.
Well, they're not doing sales first. Like, I mean,
Okay.
why not invest in internal communications first, right? That's I guess my question is why sales first?
Well, the idea actually came from when I was a product manager, finding it very hard to communicate with my engineering manager as a manager, and I wanted something like this for myself, for internal communication. Why we invest in sales? Because sales is it's a place where companies want to invest in money, versus internal communication. You often have to sell to HR, which is really difficult, and to get the money. So we sell to CROs, CEOs who are willing to pour money if we can prove that we can help them make more money. Though, and the truth is, a lot of the salespeople are constantly churning because they're actually not necessarily good at the job. They might be fresh out of college and actually do not know how to read the room. They'll keep pitching without even asking further questions to understand customers' needs.
And they don't want. They won't use Sierra. They want people.
Yeah, I mean, for kind of larger deal size, they still want to talk to humans. So, I mean, our AI can turn around to directly talk to some people for the kind of more simple sales, but for more complicated sales, they still feel more comfortable talking to humans. So, for now, is we're kind of helping the humans be better. But I mean, like I said, sales is not the only stopping point. Like, we'd love to expand it to internal communication, to many other use cases, and eventually I would love everyone in the world to have something like Amotions AI to help them be better. And
So it's going to be dual use enterprise and consumer?
We're going to occupy enterprise world first, and then could be expanding to like family and friends communication. Yeah. Thank you for the question there.
Thank you. I'm Kaushik. We are building RocketGraph. So the goal of RocketGraph is for developers to never look at logs again. So next slide, please. Yeah, the problem is that companies generate hundreds of GBs of logs daily, and humans manually read them using tools like Datadog, New Relic, Grafana, etc. So what we are trying to do is we are using machine learning algorithms to look for patterns in log data that they have never surfaced before. The problem is that most of these logs are ones that the developers have already seen. Like, some error has happened, they will want to fix it tomorrow. They know a lot of these logs. But they're looking to find for one particular rare to find log, because usually that's the one which has crashed the system. So when the system crashes, they go back to look at the logs, they find everything that they've already seen before. So we do pattern matching to cluster logs and basically flag anomalies that are very rare to find, so that it makes their debugging easier. Next slide. Yeah, so to solve the problem, what Datadog or New Relic gives is more dashboards, more queries, manual investigation. People use Gentry, Datadog, New Relic, and a lot of other tools. They piece together all this evidence from 100 microservices. What we want is this, a new Redis timeout pattern introduced and deploy. So, yeah. So right now we are doing $12,000 in annual recurring revenue. Our customer has raised 2.1 million from Lightspeed Ventures, and they do about $1 million in revenue per month. And this is how we work, right? Like we integrate with Datadog, New Relic, all the existing monitoring tools that they're familiar with. And this is the pattern that they see once they ingest that data. Next slide. So this is what it looks like in one of our demo accounts. So these are the anomalies logs that happen in like short bursts of time, and they never appear again in any other service. So if you click on one of those, then if you click on one of those, it gives you a tail of it. And what it is basically a snapshot of your telemetry data at that particular point in time. So next slide, next slide. So we are building, next slide please. Yeah, so what Datadog has built is it's building for humans, more dashboards, queries, manual investigation. We are building for AI agents. The snapshot that you have seen earlier, we stream them every 5 minutes to the developer's webhook, so they can write their own AI agents to act upon them. Should we wake up a developer for this, or should we send this to Slack, or should we send this notification to an email? So we integrate with like Datadog, New Relic, and all the usual monitoring tools. And I was also an open source contributor to scikit-learn package, which is the machine learning library used by JP Morgan, Spotify, and a bunch of others, to name a few. And yeah, we are raising $3.5 million in seed round. I calculated this for 24 months of runway, basically. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kaushik.
Cool. How much time we have for questions?
Let's take one question.
No, it's not about, it's just how much, like a few minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Okay, 4 minutes for questions.
Yeah.
Let's do 30 seconds.
Yeah,
like, for questions. First of all, how incremental is a change, is what you are building for Cursor or anyone like that, right, or Anthropic to implement, because they are pretty much having the coding agents?
So the company that would integrate this would be Datadog or New Relic themselves. But for them to even start work, I'm pretty sure there are teams in there working on this specific idea, but for them to even roll out like a small feature, they would have to answer to higher bureaucratic levels because they are already a public company. And this research was found from papers that were first appeared in 2019. So it's a pretty new research.
Second question, how to get 1 million per customer?
If they have the log volume that is matching 1 million, so we charge like, for example, one of our customer has like 1 terabyte per month of log volume. So for $1 million, we are talking about few petabytes of data. So if he can ingest that much data from a customer, then he would be paying us $1 million.
Does Fortune 500 have like that?
Coinbase paid $65 million to Datadog last year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Last question, what you gonna do with the money? So you are raising 3.5 million.
Yeah.
Revenue-wise, where you
we would essentially want to hire engineers from Google DeepMind or Anthropic because they are the ones working on cutting-edge machine learning models usually. And this research, like my friend is a PhD in like fault tolerance systems. He's soon to be a professor. So you find this in very niche like research areas. So we need to pay them like really huge
like
salaries.
Revenue-wise, where you end up with that money? So you raised 3.5 million. 1 year later, you are out of money.
We are looking at like $100,000 in annual recurring revenue by the end of 1 year. That would be the first checkpoint after raise. Like yeah.
Clear. No question. Yeah. No more questions. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
You can ask one more question by the time he figures out.
Just curious because you spotted that your customer raising fund. Why?
They are
because of your product.
No. I was just trying to say that the customers have like actual use case. They are like a team of like 7 people who actually have that problem, and they're not just somebody who has like too much money just to like spend like some. Usually not a solo developer basically. They're like an actual team spending that money because they have an actual pain.
Very quickly, if I have a data log or other observability platform and I'm very keen on, I don't know, cloud, for example, how much it takes for me to create an agent that essentially does the same thing that you do?
The agents have very small context window. That is what I'm trying to solve for. So I am compacting all the data aggregated from say CloudWatch or Datadog or New Relic and sending to that actual agent that you have built basically. So we are essentially sending an agent digestible data. This is like hundreds of GBs of data, right?
Kind of dispatch. You are kind of dispatch.
Sorry?
You are kind of dispatch sending data.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Massimo, and I hate energy waste, which is why I joined Energy Power. Ports in the US are a mess. They are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to electrify their equipment, as you see in recent news here, and at the same time, the grid that brings them power is limited and unreliable. So that means the port operators, the terminal operators, are struggling to get the power that they need to operate the machines that they are mandated to have to install. So this causes massive operational problems. So all the cranes that you see there in the Port of Oakland, they have voltage trips. They just go off almost daily, and then they have to reset them, so the whole operation stops for a half hour, massive loss. That's due to how the power operation of the crane. So basically, if you think about it, they have huge power demand when they're raising the container for a few seconds, and then when they're lowering the container, there's energy that gets released and it's wasted. What if we could use that wasted energy to power the crane? And that's exactly what we're doing with Energy Power. We recover the energy during lowering loads, store it in lithium batteries, and use it to shave peak power demands in the next lift. So that's exactly the same principle as regenerative braking that we've been using in cars for decades, applied to cranes. And we do it by retrofitting the existing cranes. So the terminal operators don't have to buy a new crane, which costs $2 to $4 million and takes months to install. Instead, we go there in a couple of weeks, we just install a new power supply, and we take care of powering their cranes, which works the same way. We've been working hard last year to secure all the components, and we have customers lined up in Europe and in the US. This year, we're doing the first pilot in Livorno, which is one of the main ports in Italy. And next year, we plan to have 30 commercial deployments. Why Port of Livorno wants to work with us, wants to do this pilot? Basically, we're making them money. So right now, they're spending over $100,000 per year on each crane in fuel cost. When they install our system, all of that is gone, and they pay back the cost of our system in the first 4 years, and in the lifespan, the remaining lifespan of the system, they save 3 to 4 million in fuel that they don't have to use anymore. And that's just for one crane in one port, but there are over 1,200 ports worldwide with electrification programs, and the same technology applies also to tower cranes in construction sites, elevators, and basically everywhere where there's a load being lifted and lowered. So that's our TAM, everywhere where there's a weight going down. We are here because we want to bring this technology to all the ports in the US, and to do that, we are raising $2 million. Why we're coming from Italy to do this? The reason is that the founders, who are based in Italy, Enrico and Lorenzo, have been designing cranes for decades. So we know who the crane operators are, what language they speak, we know them, and we're offering them a solution to lower their cost and improve their operations. I'm Massimo, I'm based here, so come talk to me if you work with ports, tower cranes in construction sites, elevators. I'm here for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Massimo. Any feedback from the judges?
You just mentioned in your numbers that they'll get back money in 4 years, and then 3.6 million of saved within the lifetime of the technology. Do you have any recurring charges?
Yes, so the model does have a part of the system installation, and then we are actually figuring out a model where we actually get compensated based on the on the savings that we are generating for the customer.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. There are like 1,200 ports, right? That's mental thumb. How much every port can generate of recurring revenue for you? How many cranes are in each port, and like?
I don't know that number, to be honest.
More or less, like if you guess. 110, 100?
I would guess a port on average would have at least a dozen of these RTG cranes that I'm talking about. If you think about a port like LA and Long Beach, they have hundreds. Oakland probably has 30 RTG cranes. So let's say on average of those 1,200, 20 to 30, something like that.
20, okay, 1,200 by 20, it's 25,000. And each of them are, you are saving them 100,000 of fuel a year, right?
Yes, that projection is based on a crane that has a diesel generator, and we would swap that diesel generator. Yes,
So,
that's
it's 25 billion of annual spend, right, for those. Okay, clear. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Gentry. Thanks for having me tonight. I know you guys are getting ready to go, so I'll make this quick. Here's a QR code. You guys can scan it right now and find everything you need to know about how to invest in My Guardian right now. So if you want to just scan this, go right ahead and find out. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our vision, a little bit about what we're doing and how we're doing it. My Guardian is a native AI app that is designed for protecting rights and personal safety. Today, you look around and it's absolutely wild town out there. And people that are getting pulled off the street, their friends and family need to know where they're going or how they're getting there. My Guardian activates and provides an evidence chain that is sustainable within court systems and within HIPAA-compliant enterprise solutions. So, for example, you're a nurse and you have a patient and the patient's freaking out and you have a liability claim. Well, now you have Activate Guardian. Your daughter is walking across the campus and some creep is chasing her down. Activate Guardian. It alerts guardians within the network. It alerts your trusted contacts that you've set up in your contact database. It says, okay, everybody, come to my rescue because I need help now. There's a community aspect to it. Our moat, that's kind of interesting. We have a world-class team of folks that I get a chance to work with and call teammates. Felix, our CTO, was Adobe Employee of the Year, won a Tech Emmy Award for an app called Moby that competed with YouTube back in the day. He's had 3 exits. Recently, senior systems engineer at Tesla. I could go on. The bottom line is when Felix says that it takes a nation state to break the encryption, I believe him. So, way to go, Felix. If your values align with saving lives and protecting rights in every situation, anywhere in the world globally, My Guardian is for you. If that works for your thesis, guys, if that works for your values and aligns with your values, then let's grab a coffee. I'm here local in San Francisco. You guys can find me. I'm real easy to find. Here's my QR code. Thank you very much.
Thank you, My Guardian.
There's always a personal story for every CEO when he starts a company. And being a student of history, you can see what's happening in the world today, and it doesn't take a lot to say we need to do something.